With the 6th pick in the 2016 NBA Draft, the New Orleans Pelicans select Buddy Hield from Freeport, Bahamas.
Good day, everybody. Welcome back to Interviews with Donna, and I am here with a professional basketball player known as Shavano Buddy Hield, who is now playing for the Sacramento Kings.
Yes, my name is Shavano Bullard Hield. Born and raised Freeport, Bahamas. Went to school at Jack Hield High School. Ended up in Sunrise Christian Academy for 2 years, and I went to University of Oklahoma for 4 years. Drafted in the 2016 NBA Draft, number 6 pick to New Orleans Pelicans. Traded, and now I'm with Sacramento Kings for the past 3 years. I'm going on my 4th year. And I'm just living out my dream, each and every day, playing in the NBA. It's a grind, it's tough, but each and every day I got to go compete against the best man in the world. And I'm just very lucky, I'm very blessed to be a part of that special league.
So you were originally from Freeport, the Bahamas. Can you tell me what was your early life growing up in Freeport?
Growing up in Freeport, life was, it was humbling, as a child. You never, the regular island life, walking up and down, having fun, the daily island struggles, just dreaming one day, like, I plan to make it out, and we all dreaming, we all don't know how we make it out, but, we always keep God first and keep our mind focused and stay on track with education, our parents always teach us that anything is possible, so, everything I got, and being on the island, growing up in Freeport, I had to work for it. Nothing was easy, and that all comes from being around my mom and watching her, struggle she grows up, and that's motivate me each and every day to prosper in life and be dedicated to my dream.
So, did you spend any time in Nassau? If so, what was that like?
Only time I got to come to Nassau was for a basketball tournament. It was either we do a C.I. Gibson Christmas Invitational or the UCAM basketball tournament, which was the big one at the time. That's the only time I get to Nassau, and every time I came to Nassau was always a great time. It's the capital, it's where everybody's at. It's a cool vibe, and even when I come to the NBA, it's like I grew up here as a kid, because Bahamian people are being so supportive, and everybody in Nassau has welcomed me like I'm their own. Even though I'm from Freeport, but it's like I grew up in Nassau, and like it's everybody know me, and that's one thing. Bahamian people, they're gonna show their support for sure, and know that I'm being in the NBA and we're on a global stage. They always, once you Bahamian, everybody has your back, and they really show the love.
Mm-hmm. So I've read that your mom, she called you Bud Bundy, right, from a show?
Oh, the name Buddy came from Bud Bundy.
Okay, I just wanted to know, how did you spin that off, from Bud Bundy to Buddy Hield?
Oh, I didn't spin it off, they spin it off, because it's kind of a unique story, because, the show called Bud Bundy, there was a character, one of the main character's name was Bud. So, you think it's kind of funny, but my mom just want to call me Bud because there was a drug dealer in the neighborhood named Bud, and he just died. And how we go as Bahamians, we don't want to live your child as somebody. We live the name of somebody that happened bad, something that happened bad to somebody. So they just add the Buddy onto it, and I just stuck with me from I was two months old, and everybody everybody knows Buddy. If I really get Shavano, and if I get Shavano, I tell you this today, you have to be my classmates, or you're probably one of my aunties or my uncles. It's the only time I get Shavano.
So, how did you start basketball? How did you get into the sport?
I was a track guy, and never used to. I never thought of basketball, until I started watching the NBA Finals when it was Allen Iverson and Kobe Bryant playing, as Bahamians, we don't never get the NBA channels daily. Mm-hmm. We always get it when it's always like playoff time. So I was watching that, and I just saw Kobe Bryant, and I fell in love with him, the way he was mentally focused, the way the crowd react when he scored the basketball. You felt a hype around him, and he's like, man, I want that feeling. And I just fell in love with it, and it was beautiful, and I get to fall in love with college basketball, and Bahamia's local channel, CBS, with Florida, Joakim Noah, and Al Horford and Corey Brewer. And I watched those guys, and they ended up winning 2 national championship, and the college atmosphere was so intense and so crazy. I said, man, why can't I be a part of this? Like, it was so much fun, and that drew me away from track because, to be honest, track was an individual sport, and like, I don't know if you run track before, the anxiety before track it's not the feeling you want. It's like your stomach is bubbling, and you know, I was a great track athlete, but I didn't like that feeling before. That anxiety, all that feeling. But I wouldn't say the pressure because, to be honest with you, my races that I won that were good and I always won. I just stopped running them because, I didn't feel no fun in it. And to be honest with you, I didn't see it as any income in it for me where I can be able to take care of my family. And I know basketball is the way that I can take care of my family.
So, other than track, did you dabble in any other sports?
Once you was athletic, you was athletic. You in school they make you play everything, and especially running the Bahamas, you do track, you do softball, you do volleyball. But I was one of the athletic kids that always stand out in those sports. But track was my main sport growing up until basketball took over. And the point is, like, a lot of people tell you I was not at the basketball height I am now. I was always short, and like I say, nobody can see this coming before. Like some guys you say, oh, he's a tall boy, like he has a chance, but like, I was one of those late bloomers that end up springing up late, and I had to work for what I want. Nothing came easy for me. So I'm just blessed to be in this position right now.
So when can you say in your life, what point of your basketball career made you realize this is what you want to do career-wise?
When I gave up track and where I was at track. That, like, a lot of people say, oh, the best chance you had to do was go off to school for track. That was the best opportunity. But, I was a stubborn kid. I always like, I'm gonna prove to you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be a basketball player. And the point is, like, we all didn't know because my mom was short, the genes. My dad was tall, but I didn't have the tall genes. Like I said, I keep believing, I keep trusting in God, and I was one of those late bloomers, and I just stay focused on the path, and I was able to, be able to go off to school, high school for a little bit, and went to college, and then I exceeded the NBA. So, as a kid, you never know what's for you until you just dedicate yourself to what you want to do, and believe in your work craft.
So personally for me, basketball has always been a familiar sport because of my brother. He always played basketball, and my father, Bullard, who is a successful coach who owns a school, Noble Preparatory Academy, that helps student athletes and help them find that balance and also secure their future, right? So behind that being said, I just wanted to know, how did you balance that school
and basketball
life?
If you want to do something in life, you have to take care of the rest of the little things. If you want to be successful in basketball, you have to be able to do the little things that comes with it. And I say little, but it's a lot. And that's waking up every morning and going to school, and that's when you go to school, you staying locked in and focused. I'm not thinking about the Saturday night game or the Friday night game. You doing your schoolwork and preparing yourself because the exams that require you to get into school, like ACT prep, the SAT, all that stuff. And it's locking in school, and just knowing that school comes first, and without school, you cannot succeed in basketball. No matter how good you are, and how good you think you are. If you don't lock down with grades first and put school first, that you cannot get to the Division I high major level as fast as you want to. You might can take the junior college route, but as a basketball player, you don't want to take that route because you're good enough to play high major basketball. You want to take care of schoolwork first. So school is the number one priority, and then after that, you take care of that, and after that, basketball comes.
So how was your high school life in the Bahamas compared to when you went?
High school life, like I always say, I'm not gonna lie, high school life was fun for me. But then when I went to America, it was more of like, I couldn't slack off no more. I had to be more serious because, the culture, the norm we grow up in, everything is like, everybody, we have humans, so we have our own way, but it's not the way we should have it, go by it. And when I went to America, I had to buckle up, I had to lock in, and yeah, I was behind some, but the competitor in me that if I wanted to play basketball, I have to do this.
So how was the transition for you moving to another country with different cultures?
That's a good question. I think that the biggest thing is that I'm so used to like the island way, the island life, catching bus, everything being so close. To food, the culture, the laughter and like the way we talk, and going to America, just you gotta just adapt to everything. It's not a bad thing, but you just gotta be a professional in that sense of way. You know that okay, I'm not in my element no more, in somebody else's element. I have to do things the way they do things, and not saying that you not forget your roots. Still have that grind, still have that grit, but just know that you're not in your country anymore. So what goes by your country doesn't go by another country. So you have to be more, like I say, professional in a way that's relies on like where you're at and know what is right and wrong, and that's having common sense. And it's tough, but then once you get the flow and it seems that everything is not with it, and everything is against you, but once you go there and you be you and you be yourself and follow by the rules, and you stay focused on what you're going to do, you should be fine.
So you were originally drafted to the Pelicans,
Right.
and you moved to the Kings,
Right.
and statistically you've improved in the numbers.
That's right.
Do you think that the switch made you improve, or like?
You can say that, but just I can just say that being human, when something happens and like you feel like your back's in the walls, you have to react, and at a point in my career, like, when the Pelicans drafted me and everything, I thought I was one of the guys, not bad. I was traded for All-Star, which is in the NBA guys, that's pretty good. You get traded for All-Star, that means the team really wants you, but that's still like a fire in my butt. I really didn't want me, like that, and I said, that's when I figured out like this league is a business. They don't care who you are, there's no friendship, there's no love here. They can get rid of you anytime they want to. And that made me turn the switch over and say, like, buddy, you got to really get to it. You got to stop playing around. I'm just in the NBA, but I can lose my job like this. So I really had to like stay on my grind and go back to the original grind I had. And I had to find that back. Because because you never I never been in the NBA before, so I didn't know how to react. And nobody knows how to react until they get there. And it's a tough league, so like nothing is given to you. You really go get what you want. And just being like every other out in life, you have to really get what you want. If you don't go get what you want in life, you have to see it. So I had to go get what is mine. To show that I deserve to be in this league, and I did that. And each and every day is a grind. I'm still going there competing. I don't care who comes in the gym. Just fighting for what I have to get and which is mine. And that's my motto each and every day.
So can you explain your clinic that you're doing in Nassau?
Right.
Can you explain what is it about and how other ways that you're trying to give back to the community?
The clinic is the 24 elite. And every time you come to Bahamas and everybody says, like, "Oh, you doing your basketball camp?" Yeah, I do a basketball camp, but like we all do a basketball camp, but like, is it really impacting the kids that needed to be impacted too? Have to put an impact on, and I want to focus on the kids that need it the most and who has a chance to get to the next level. No disrespect to the rest of the kids in the islands, but like, it's time we start taking this to another level and trying to help kids out that who really needs it, and that goes far because they're the kids that want to make that transition step. They're trying to find themselves, where I'm at my game and what they need to do to get to the states to college. How can I be a successful basketball player? What I do best, how can I do it at a high level, and still be in the court, and just showing them how to play your roles right, and at this age, from 15 and 17, they're still trying to figure out what can they do, but like they have some guidance towards it and some understanding and learning. We watch film with them, we teach them the X and O's and like how can I get open better, how to set a screen, how to slip, how to read defense, all that simple stuff that that instead of like focus on 300-400 kids, we can just focus on 24 kids that really needs it.
And how much does this mean you've given back to your country?
It means a lot, man. I'm not one of the type of people that do it for show because I really don't like all that camera stuff, like, that everybody following me around and like, recording and stuff for that. But like, it's a part of the business, but I understand that. But, it means a lot for me because as a kid, man, I used to go to every camp I had a chance to go to. I used to tell all the kids like, yo, you going to Snappy camp, you going to Mr. Butler camp, like, yo, I going, like, let's go. And I always wanted to like compete against the kids because in the islands, you always say like, who's the best, and I want to be the best. So I don't care who you are. I just go there and compete, and and that was like my biggest challenge myself. You know, like when I tell these guys, like, you know, stand out. You know, you have to be a standout. And if you don't stand out nowhere, nobody's gonna recognize you. So I want to be one of the guys that stand out, and I just want to go. I just give out the kids, man. They deserve it, and because somebody did for me, and I'm just returning the favor, and I'm not gonna be able to do this for a long time. You know, it's gonna be some of them to inspire the next generation coming up.
Well, this concludes our interview today with Buddy Hield, and I just thank you so much for coming and taking the time out to actually sit down and do this interview. And I hope you guys can tune in. Do you have anything else you would like to say before we close out?
Yeah, I just tell everybody, man, just just be grateful, stay blessed, you know, and everything in life you want, you gotta go get it yourself. You know, nothing comes easy. You know, we all go through tough times and bad times, but they're all for the better. And, just keep on first.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
thank you guys for tuning in with Interviews with Anna, and stay tuned for the next episode.
This is Buddy Hield. Thank you for watching Interviews with Anna, and stay tuned.
With the 6th pick in the 2016 NBA Draft, the New Orleans Pelicans select Buddy Hield from Freeport, Bahamas, and the University of Oklahoma.
You saw the shirt in the crowd. Probably the only thing you can say right now is Boomer. Is Buddy Hield, the Oklahoma star, who led the Sooners to the Final Four, averaged 25 points per game,